We work a lot on Corvair heads, and because we do so many, we see many of the problems they have due to their age and extensive mileage. One problem that often becomes apparent only after cleaning the heads is water damage and corrosion. Unlike a V engine, where the heads face downward from the top of the cylinders, the Corvair chambers are horizontal, making them especially adept at collecting water. The Corvair chamber is a pretty standard, outdated 2-valve chamber, and its age becomes truly apparent when you see this huge step in the quench. We always weld up this step because it's crucial for performance of the heads, and this step's only function is to increase the volume of the chamber, and in doing so, it introduces some minor issues like poor mixture distribution and improper combustion. So actually, it's really important that we fill in this step in the quench. Once the head's clean, you can usually tell it has corrosion by the pits in the chamber, but sometimes it's harder to spot, and you only know the corrosion is serious after we weld it and fly cut it back. And that's exactly what happened with this head.
We fly cut this, and there's corrosion underneath this, and once we got this cut, a bunch of these pits showed up, and we're gonna have to grind this back, weld it, and re-fly cut and make sure that we don't have any of these pits because they're right on the edge of the head gasket, and they're not good. So little job, little unusual job, and you can see the corrosion here compared to this. When I weld the quench, there's no corrosion here. A lot of corrosion here, which means there's crap underneath this. And I try to float it all out, but obviously I don't weld on the head gasket surface, so that was just under the head gasket surface.
When we're grinding back the surface, it's really important that we make sure to grind all the way into the head to expose those pockets of corrosion that were formed and then covered up by the weld itself. With these exposed, the weld should be able to easily float them out completely and then cover them in good new metal.
Hot, 300 degrees, let's go.
These are the settings. More good?
That's more like anything.
Oh,
It's not helium.
you can tell by the way your voice didn't change.
Yeah, it didn't change too much.
There we go.
This operation really is deceptively hard. The main pitfall is the grinding step before, because if you don't grind enough and expose the corrosion, you end up floating the rest of it close to the surface and then covering it with a weld. You can only really tell if you've done it right after fly cutting back the weld and seeing if the corrosion pits are still there. And being careful while grinding is still hard in the first place, because the corrosion isn't some bright, obvious thing. It ends up blending in with the shiny ground surface that you just created.
There's a couple of little pits right here, but I think they're high enough in the 2 or 3 there and there, but it's off the head gasket surface. Oh, like that's off the head gasket surface. You gotta cool, yeah, you gotta cool it and then machine it. We'll take a look, I guess, in the morning.
So here's a quick look at the weld before my dad machines it.
Okay, so I already made a couple cuts, but see if I can zoom in here. As you can see, even though you couldn't see anything on the surface at all, and I kept going back and forth with the heat to bring up whatever kind of crap is in there.
So my dad did finish that cut, and there's porosity. So he welded it up again, and he's going to machine it back one last time.
Do the next cut, so hang on. Let's scoop this going. Crossing our fingers. I dug this out pretty deep. I'm only taking about 15 thousandths off. I just can't believe that this crap keeps coming up. It's so hard to fix heads with corrosion. And the other chambers are just gorgeous. Yeah, it's just down there. I don't know. I mean, I fill it up with filler, and it still has crap in it. I just don't know why. I don't want to make welding this head and fly cutting a career. This thing needs to get done. I can't imagine what's down there. See what happens. Okie dokie. I actually have to say, there's nothing under the head gasket except maybe a tiny spot. So it is a livable thing. I think we're going to go with this. This, and this are all inside of the head gasket and won't have any effect on the gasket sealing. So we're good, guys. This is a wrap. This one's going to work. Adios.
So that's just a glimpse at how we repair a corroded head, and this one should work because now there's no corrosion under the head gasket and it'll have no problem sealing. We don't fix every corroded head we come across, that'd be crazy, but this one was not too bad, and you can see it only took us a little while to clean it up. Alright, see you guys later.